What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Kickin' with Kaz, episode 57. Kaz here, your favorite internet comedian, which isn't saying much, to be honest with you, considering who's considered, what they allow to be considered an internet comedian, but it is saying something, and that's important, you know? As long as I'm your favorite, that's really all that matters. Welcome back. I'm terribly sorry that there was no episode last week. Unfortunately, I was feeling very sick. And then I was gonna, but then I didn't because I started streaming on Twitch, and then I needed to get that done, and I promised that, you know, because I'm gonna be honest with you, because I promised that I was gonna start Twitch one day, and then I didn't, and then I made that promise, and then I didn't fulfill it, and you know, listen, cause you know me if you've been listening here for a while, I tend to in my life I make a lot of promises, and I really only deliver on about a third of them, but. I mean, Jordan didn't shoot 100% from the field, did he? No, he didn't. 30%, 33% is really what it is when you really break it down mathematically. 33% of my promises end up being fulfilled. And to be honest with you, I feel like that's good enough. I feel like, you know, it's because if I start shooting 100%, you guys are going to expect too much of me, and we don't need that, you know? I don't need anybody to really rely on me. You know, that's the last thing I want to happen. So as long as I fulfill about a third of the promises that I say, I think we're going to be all right there. Yeah, sorry. Like I said, I got sick. Then I started streaming on Twitch. Obviously, I'm going to be streaming there pretty much every day now. If you want to go check that out, the link to that's going to be down below. But yeah, I still am a little sick too. But I was just fighting through it on the stream, and then it was tough to record an episode after that because I was just exhausted. Like, I'm already exhausted right now, but I got to get this episode up. I got to give it to the people. I got to give it to you, baby. And the reason I'm just so exhausted is like I got sick the same time I always get sick right around this time, man. It's just that unfortunate time of year where my body no longer is just fighting the amphetamine abuse and dehydration. It now has to couple that on top of the common cold and, you know, random spitting up blood and things of that nature. It, you know, when I say spit up blood, that happened once. It happened once. It's really not. Some of you may see that as an immediate medical emergency. I just see it as my body reminding me that I could die at any moment. And I think that's important. You know, you wake up one morning, you're spitting blood, you got a temperature of 107. It's not a medical emergency. It's just your body giving you a little nudge, giving you a little tap on the shoulder saying, hey, bud, this isn't forever. You know, watch your step, you know? It usually happens, too, when I take my ADHD medication. I'll take my Adderall, and then I'll, like, forget to eat for the entire day, and then I, like, pass out. Then I like black out for like 5 seconds, and then I wake up, and then I got a bloody nose, and my body's like, hey, watch it, you know? They're like, hey, let's not, right? You're like three no Adderall eating days away from a hospital visit. So let's watch that a little bit. No, but serious. That's serious, right? I'm excited to be here though. Super excited. As you can see, I took down all the bats off the back of the wall behind me because it's the holiday season to me now. October, it's over. Halloween is over. I know a lot of you were sitting there and you were saying, you're like, Anthony, you got to leave them up. You put 500 bats on your wall. You got to leave them up. And, you know, as much as I wanted to listen to your opinion, the crazy thing is that your take and opinion on anything in my life has no impact on my decision. So I decided to rip them all down. And unfortunately, it did. The Amazon review, it said, will not come off wall. Like, they were like, you stick them up there, they stick good. They're not going to be falling like everything else on Amazon. And I go, oh my God, that's exactly what I needed. What they should have included underneath was will never come off wall, right? They said will not come off wall. What they meant was will never come off wall. And so there, I ripped some paint off the ceiling above me. It looks like it's got a little bit of a speckled paint. It looks a little bit like a speckled paint look, but in reality, it's really not that big of a problem because at the end of the day, it's it's like I said, it's the holiday season, so I'm just gonna put like Christmas lights up and like snowflakes on the wall, so that now we're all of a sudden we're compounding this issue and we're turning it into a January problem. Because the thing, we don't have to deal with it right now. We're just living right now. Speaking of living, I don't think I've shaved in about 5 days. I think I'm slowly rolling into my pimp era. I just the other night I was on Amazon, or no, I wasn't. I was on Lululemon.com. That's a good way to go in debt. Is you just surf that internet. You just surf that website. I'm sure a lot of people are in debt on Lululemon. I am not right now, but you know, we made a large purchase. I bought a nice puffer jacket for the winter. I bought a big puffer jacket from Lululemon. I'm growing the beard out. All I need is a couple studs, and I'm going to start entering my pimp era, and I'm going to start calling everybody bitch. You know, dude, I'm not even kidding. That puffer, dude, something about the puffer jacket. I don't know if you ever put a puffer jacket on in the winter, but something about the puffer jacket, you throw it on, you just want to start calling everybody bitch. I put the puffer jacket on my mom, and my mom was like, hey, can you grab me a water from the fridge? And I was like, what if I don't, bitch? And I had to take it off. I think I might have to return it. It's starting to become a problem in the house. Every time I put it on, man, it's an issue, man. The puffer jacket can get to your head quick. Don't let it get to your head this winter. You put on the puffer jacket and the Timbs. I'm not even kidding. The moment the puffer jacket touches my skin, I just start walking around. I start calling everybody bitch. I start calling everybody bitch. I start wearing a little bit too much jewelry. It starts getting out of hand a little bit quicker than I'd like, right? I start taking a little bit too much Adderall. I start getting a few too many ideas. That's how you know. Listen to me. If you ever get prescribed Adderall or like an amphetamine or something like that for like, or you know, if you're taking it recreational, whatever, you know, whatever. I'm not a judge. I'm not the feds, but I'm not that I encourage it. I'm just saying I'm not going to tell. But if you ever take Adderall, and if you do need it, if you ever get to a point where you took a dose and you start thinking you're like, oh my God, like I know how to fix so many things in this world. You took too much, okay? Let me stop you there, because I've been in that position before where you take a little bit too much Adderall. And I know when I've had too much Adderall, because instead of just relaxing my body, right? Because when you have ADHD, the Adderall, it's a weird feeling. It's sort of like relax. It sort of like makes you feel a little relaxed because there's not so many thoughts running through your fucking head and you could kind of chill out. But when you take a little bit too much Adderall, you start getting very vague and like aggressive ideas. What I mean by that is, for example, I think one of the thoughts that I had at one time was like, I'm pretty sure I was convinced that I could fix homelessness I was online and I saw Home Depot. They sell like this big, it's not a house really. It's like a large shed with a bed inside. And it's that's the best way I could describe it. I know that sounds ridiculous. It's like a studio apartment that's just outside. I don't even know if that makes sense. It's like if you took a studio apartment, you just took the apartment, but then instead of putting it inside of an apartment building, you just put it on grass. So that would be a house. That was the dumbest fucking explanation. Yes, you take a place that you live in, right? And you know how when there's a bunch together, you call it an apartment building? Well, then you take that same space and you put it on grass, and that's right. Okay, so now we're talking about a house. That was the dumbest shit. I'm sorry, whatever. Anyways, the idea I had was like, if you took this this mini house, let's call it this mini house from like Home Depot that you could buy. I was like, oh my God, and it was like kind of like a steal. It was like $5,000 or something, which is for housing is, I mean, like you would think you're living, in the fucking 1960s, right? $5,000 for a house. I mean, you're basically walking, right? I mean, it's insane. And so I was sitting there, dude, just fucking, right? And this was at a time when the one doctor that I was going to was just giving me too much Adderall. I didn't know at the time. And, the doctor should have known when I was describing how I was getting work done, but they just decided to not listen to me. But that was years ago. But I would sit at my computer and like, instead of just doing my work, I'm like, oh my God, these politicians are just lazy. They could all go to Home Depot. We could just put them right. There's so many fields. I start calculating like how many fields are in the country. I'm like, there's so much free area. that we could just, if we really, right, everyone's talking about we need houses. I go, no, let's start small. Home Depot mini house. Let's put those out there. Sure, they might not be structurally sound for something like hurricanes and things of that nature. We throw these people in the middle of the country and we get them where all this land is at. No one's over there. It's just land. Who cares? We put them there. Listen, and I know people are going to be like, but the animals live there. Americans, we love taking land and just fucking it up. So this is what we do best, right? We want to fix a problem. You got to do what America does best. Take land. Take it from the deer. Just start taking land. That's where we put everybody with the Home Depot houses. I thought that I was just on a next level, and then the Adderall wore down, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong? That's insane. So that's how you know if you're ever taking too much Adderall, you have too many ideas, too many vague, aggressive ideas. Right? That's what happens. Like another example is like vague and aggressive. I wanted to become a really good fighter, but not in any specific area. I wasn't sure where I wanted to start. Once again, aggressive and vague. Speaking of aggressive and vague, that's sort of how I feel. That's kind of how these people act who hate the holidays. Or not hate the holidays, but it's like I said, it's the holidays. November 1st hits. It's the holidays. Like, it's not, I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear this whole thing. But what about Thanksgiving? That's insane, right? They're like, what about Thanksgiving? What about Columbus? He sailed the ocean blue. Have you heard what he did? That's crazy. In this climate, in this economy, that's fucking insane. With everything that's going on with Kanye, you're going to sit here and you want to dick ride Columbus. Is it nuts? My entire life before I knew what Columbus, who he actually was and what he actually did, I was just trying to find a reason to dislike him anyways, because I'm not even a big fan of Thanksgiving. If they got rid of Thanksgiving, I wouldn't even be upset about it. I wouldn't even really care, to be honest with you. I literally, I know, if they were to get rid of a holiday, fucking Thanksgiving, take it away. I literally could care less. Turkey? Disgusting. Like I said, Columbus, I don't even like Columbus, Ohio. That place is a shithole, so the man himself couldn't have been any better. So, I mean, it's crazy that you're going to sit there and you're going to stand up for this guy. I mean, it's right. He's dead. You don't have to dick ride the fucking Santa Maria. You don't know. You don't have to. What were the three? The Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. I like how when I was in school, that was like the only thing they stressed of importance. They're like, you need to know what boats Columbus sailed in. Not what he did to the Native Americans is not any of your concern. But I swear to God, if you don't know that he was on the fucking Nina, you're failing my class. Dude, that's how it was, though, in, history class when I was very young. When, I don't know, maybe, 3rd grade, my teachers, they would be like, what year? And I'd be like, 1492. And then they were like, what are both? I'm like, Nina, Pinta, Santa Maria. And then they're like, perfect. I go, but what happened to the native? Shut up! Shut up! Don't ask! Nothing happened to the Native Americans. Columbus sailed in. They had a feast. They played Scrabble. Okay, and then the Native Americans were like, hey, you're really nice. Here's our land. That's it. Now, once again, the 3 boats. Dude. That's what it is with a lot of history, though, you know? You learn somebody who is, really important in history, and then you're like, oh, my God, that's crazy. They're so dope. I wish I could be like them. And then you get older, and you're like, who did what now? You're like, what? You know? You start learning things, and you're like, what kids did they touch? Right? And then you're like, no, and it sucks. Right? Because when you're young, you don't know anything. I mean, but by the way, I'm not saying that they should start teaching a kindergartner, right? They're like, guess who, they shouldn't start, they shouldn't bring up Columbus and be like, guess who he murdered? You know what I'm saying? That's wild. Don't do that. The kids don't need to know right now, right? I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is even when I was 7th, 8th grade and that history rolled around, they would just they would just press on over Columbus every year. Why did they bring that up every year too? Do you know that? I feel like from about kindergarten to about 5th grade, I learned the same thing every November. Like November hit, we dropped every history lesson and they were like, "Do you guys know about Columbus? Have you heard about this guy?" Like every year they would just circle back. They're like, "Did you hear about Columbus? And how he sailed the ocean blue in 1492?" Like they wouldn't quit, man. They fucking love bringing up Columbus every November. I never learned anything new in the month of November when I was in school. I don't know if this was just the school that I was at, but in history class specifically, I never learned any new and insightful thing in the month of November. It was the month of November was just, can you draw a turkey with your hand? And Columbus was a good guy. That's all I ever heard. Columbus, great guy. Let's draw hand turkeys. You know, dude, that's it. That's all I remember. It was sailed the ocean blue, 1492, 3 boats, don't ask about the Native Americans. And then literally within a week's time, they're like, who wants to draw hand turkeys? Oh, that's a big hand turkey you got there, right? That was it. And speaking of turkey, another reason I hate Thanksgiving, turkey meat sucks so bad. It's always dry. I don't want to hear it. Some of you people were like, you've clearly never had a good turkey. Anyone in your family who cooks it, they're clearly cooking it wrong. The fact that you're going to disrespect my 90-year-old Italian grandfather is beyond me. That is insane. I heard you say that he was a cunt. I don't know if you said that out loud, but I'm going to tell him. That's insane. The man came from Italy. Insane. Parents from Italy. Insane. Insane. Insane you're going to disrespect him like that. Anyways, no, seriously though, it's just turkey, even beyond, let's say it's not dry, because I know I like to fuck around and say that it's extremely dry, because I've had turkey that's extremely dry and actually almost made me kill myself on accident. Like not, okay, let's rephrase that so I don't get demonetized. It made me almost accidentally stop breathing and pumping blood throughout my vital organs. So I'm gonna leave them both in. I don't give a fuck. They could demonetize me. They could suck my nuts. Fuck them. The son of a bitch. What was I saying? Oh, the turkey. I like to say that turkey, oh, it's always so dry. I know, like, you know, I know it's not, like, I've had not dry turkey, but even, like, the most moist turkey in the world, like, I'm talking, you break it out, and it's just, I'm talking, you open up the turkey, it's just fucking, it's soaking wet. I don't care if the turkey looks like it's just had the best sex of its life. I literally don't care, okay? And you know what's crazy, too? You ever walk in on your parent, like, you ever walk in on a family member just fisting a turkey? Like, just stuffing, you know, because some people, they put stuffing inside the turkey. We have iPhones, but we still fist dead animals. Let's really break that down. You know what I'm saying? We have iPhones, but we will shove things inside a dead animal carcass and not think it for a second. But anyways, yeah, back to the turkey. Everybody, dude, and I posted a video about this on TikTok too, and I was getting a lot of fire, dude. And they're like, you've never had a good turkey. I've actually, and this is exactly what I want to say, I have had good, like, the best turkey you could buy at one point. I went one time, it was like for a birthday or something, someone's birthday. We were at like a nice restaurant, right? All the food there, very good. And they had a turkey dinner on the menu. And I'm not even lying to you. I did this out of spite. And they brought me, okay? And I go, can I get the turkey dinner? Right? And they go, okay, best bird out there. I go, I'm sure it is. They bring it to me. They hand it to me. It's moist, whatever, XYZ. The taste of turkey is still terrible. But on top of it, you want to know how they brought the turkey out to me? Do you want to know how they brought it out to me? With gravy on it. Anthony, you always put turkey on gravy. And that's the gripe I have. Because for such an expensive restaurant to also bring out gravy with turkey, they don't trust the meat. You don't trust the meat. They have no faith in their bird. If someone hands me turkey and immediately puts gravy on it without asking me first, you have just allowed me to see that you have no faith in your own meat. And I don't even want to eat it at that point. You don't have any faith in that meat right there. You gotta put gravy on it. I've been somewhere before. People cooked a turkey dinner. I took the turkey. I didn't take the gravy, and they go, oh, no. They pull me back. They go, you can't eat it like that. I can't eat it like that? No, if a meat is good, it should not need a sauce. And there were a lot of people who were like, I've eaten turkey without sauce, and it's super moist. Okay, I'm glad you like your turkey dunked in a gallon of water, but I unfortunately think that tastes disgusting. I'm sorry. I think it's fucking gross. And I hate that every time people are like, oh, turkey and gravy. If there was no gravy involved in Thanksgiving dinner, you wouldn't eat turkey. Because it's really not that good without the gravy. And it's not even really good with the gravy. The gravy on top of it, I mean, think about it like this. You go to an expensive restaurant, they bring you a steak. No sauce. Now, there'll be sometimes, right, where they're like, listen, that steak right there, best piece of meat you're ever going to see. Like the most phenomenal piece of meat. I just killed that cow literally in the back. I literally just put a bullet in its head 5 minutes ago. You will not get a fresher piece of meat. And it's phenomenal. But our chef does cook up a nice homemade sauce. Not saying you need to have it, but I want to put it on the side just so you could try. Because they got faith in that meat. They'll bring you that meat, just the meat. They go, fucking eat it. It's phenomenal. You're going to jizz yourself. That's what they say. They look at you, the waiter, right? Anytime you're at a nice restaurant with a nice steakhouse, right? The waiters in like a weird, they're like in a suit kind of sometimes, or like that waiter tux thing, right? And they're like, you're gonna be coming everywhere. You're gonna be like a cum tornado. You're just gonna be spinning around. You're gonna be coming. It's gonna be like a cum hurricane out of you, cum tsunami. You know what I'm saying? Just fucking hurricane, cum Trina. All right, I'm done. Sorry. Anyways, they have so much faith in that meat, right? You go to that same restaurant. You go, can I get the turkey dinner? They won't let you see the meat without the gravy. And that's a red flag for me. That's a violent red flag. It's no. If you, like, that's what you need to have faith in your meat by itself. You need to have faith in that meat. You need to look at that meat, and I need you to look me in my eyes and say, it doesn't need gravy, but you never can. You never can. And the few people that are like, I eat mine without gravy, it's super moist. I don't. It's a very moist turkey. It has a weird texture to me, and I really don't like it. I'd like a middle ground turkey, but even then, I still don't really like the flavor. And I know this is kind of a meat problem, but I'm just saying in general. Also, like, I just don't understand why turkey, and everybody's like, oh, it's tradition. You can't break tradition. Yes, you can. You don't have to. You know what I'm saying? No, it's tradition. That's what Columbus did. Where did we get this? It's a made up story. Columbus and the Native Americans did not eat turkey and fucking, watch Gilmore Girls. It's not. They didn't eat turkey and then watch fucking Charlie Brown fall over for the 800th time. You know what I'm saying? They didn't fucking eat turkey and then go play fucking football outside. They didn't eat turkey. It's a made up story. But everybody's like, it's tradition. It's a gross meat. Please, let's throw the tradition away. I mean, why can't we? How about a nice filet, right? I know they're a little bit more expensive, but a large turkey is rather expensive as well. I mean, what else is there, right? I mean, you got, I mean, literally ham. You ever honey baked, honey glazed ham? That's beautiful. You ever glaze a honey ham? Oh my God, it's fantastic. You go to the store, do you ever see a fresh honey ham, dude? Oh my God, it'll get you wet. That'll get you soaking. God, I love a good fresh honey glazed, brother. A fresh honey glazed. A fresh glaze of honey. Dude, I'm still feeling sick, man. Fuck. God, this time of year. But this time of year also, it is beautiful. Like, although I am sick, like I said, I get sick or whatever, this is a fantastic time of year. Oh, and I forgot to bring up I want to talk about the like holiday haters. Like people are like, they like don't want to hear Christmas music before Thanksgiving because they hate seeing others happy. And it's kind of it's weird, right? Like I don't know. Like it's the only music too where people are like, I only want to hear it. You're not allowed to enjoy it, right? You're only allowed to enjoy it for 3 weeks out of the year. That's it. No. All right, it's getting dark at 3 p.m. outside. I haven't seen the sun in what feels like 7 years ago. And it's just sometimes the only piece of happiness in the day is through Michael Bublé or Mariah Carey or something of that nature. And is it really a sin if I want to listen to a happy song, a joyful, happy song on November 3rd, on November 7th, on November 12th, any day before Thanksgiving? Is it really a sin? Is it really that much of a sin? Because I don't think I'm asking for much. All I'm asking for is that you let me enjoy All I Want for Christmas Is You. Okay? Let me pretend that I'm even remotely close to a relationship with anybody and have this moment. You know what I'm saying? All I want for Christmas is you. I sing at top of my lungs, thinking of no one in particular, thinking of absolutely nobody, but I like to pretend. So let me pretend. If you let me pretend with my Christmas music, I'll pretend that your girlfriend isn't cheating on you. This is a time to pretend, right? This is a time to pretend. There's a time to pretend. You go to those family parties, you see that one uncle, you're like, or that cousin, you're like, I don't really like them, right? Or like that, or maybe you have that one cousin or that one uncle or something like that comes to Thanksgiving and everyone's just like, they are doing meth, but we love them. And, it's okay. Nothing says in American Thanksgiving like some random uncle or cousin that you see once a year screaming random aggressive political views that you're not sure how we got to because we were in the middle of playing Scrabble. And it's just, you're in the middle of Pictionary and you're like, why are we talking about Hitler? How did that happen? And it's, you know what I'm saying? And then you got one cousin in the corner who's like, Kanye's still a genius. And you're like, I don't want to be here, but let's pretend that I do. It's a time about pretending. So let me pretend that I have someone during this holiday season. That's what we all like to do. We like to pretend, We like to pretend. We like to listen to what's that one song? The Baby Please Don't Go or something. Right? The like, oh, baby, it's cold out. Let me listen to Baby It's Cold Outside and not hear you screaming in my ear that that he's gonna Bill Cosby her or something like that. And it's it's a fun song. It's a flirtatious little song, and it's fun. Obviously, if it was happening in real life, yes, we would see it as a problem because it was like, it seemed as though she wanted to leave, but we're just singing a song, right? We're just singing a song. We're just singing a song, and I just like to sing those songs. All I Want for Christmas Is You, Jingle Bells, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Merch is linked down below. No, I'm dead fucking serious. I'm holding up a hoodie. It says Rudolph. Oh, it's backwards on here, isn't it? Or maybe not. Rudolph's Rager. It says Rudolph's Rager, and it's all 9 reindeer. Drunk, throwing up. They're doing keg stands. It's a fun sweater. Go buy one. I spent like 2 months designing it. And it's really fun, and I think you should buy one. And that's all I have to say to that. But yeah, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer hoodie, sweater down below, link below. Sorry, I'm done with that. All right. No, but it's just, it's that time of year, man. It's like it's the November 1st hits. Bublé leaves the cave, Mariah Carey comes out of her shell, and everybody and the world just gets transformed. You know what I'm saying? This is a time of year you don't think about money. You don't think, you try, you have to think about money, but you don't. You just, you ignore it. You pretend, right? You buy gifts, expensive gifts for people who you really don't even want to give them that gift, but if you don't, then it's going to be a whole issue, right? It's nothing says happy holidays like fucking extreme consumerism and going into debt. If you're not going into debt this holiday season, you're doing it wrong. If you're not worried you're going to make next week's rent because you needed to buy your mother or your girlfriend some new present or something of that nature, you're not doing it right, okay? Because it's not, nothing says I love you like spending out of your budget. You know what I'm saying? That's what this time of year is about, because nothing, I mean, Christmas, the holidays, nothing says I love you more than going into debt. Because really, in reality, this is really the reality of it. If you really, if we want to get into it, if you were like, no, but I wrote them a poem of how much I love them, and then I wrote them a song. All I'm hearing is free, 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 and all I'm hearing is divorce, divorce, divorce. So what you're going to need to do is, I'm pretty sure Apple just released a new Apple Watch. So first you're going to want to start there, and then maybe after that, I think Lululemon is down the block. And then once you feel like you might have to not eat for a week just to afford this, that's when you know you've spent enough money. That's when you know that you've gone far enough during this holiday season, is when you are a little concerned that the heat might not be on next week. That's when you know that you've gone past your limits and that you've put it out on the line. Okay? Don't sit there and be like, but this song was from the heart. No one cares. Okay? But then again, I will be honest with you. This is the only time of year that I'm going to sit there and I'm going to tell you that love is real. And I'm going to agree with you that everything's going to work out, and that sure, that, you know, the girl that you started dating from your hometown freshman year is definitely your wife. And she's definitely not cheating. Absolutely. I'm going to agree with you. This is the only 2 months out of the year you come up, 10 months out of the year you come up to Kaz. You say, my girlfriend's 1,000 miles away. What should I do? I'm going to look at you and say, are you fucking Delilah? And, hey, Anthony, my girlfriend's 1,000 miles away. 10 months out of the year, I'm going to tell you, hey, bud, she's cheating on you, right? I'm going to be out debt like she's or he or whoever, right? They're cheating. They are absolutely cheating. Don't care. I'm going to say it. 10 months out of the year, I'm a hater. I hate to be that guy. I don't hate to be that guy. I love being a hater. I love being a hater. And I'm going to be a hater. But these 2 months, November, December, I'm going to be happy, Kaz. And I'm going to tell you love is real. And I'm going to look you in the eyes, and I'm going to tell you, and you could look me dead in my eyes and say, hey, you know, you could be like, we've gone through ups and downs. And I'll be like, what were those ups and downs? And then you'll be like, well, we cheated. And I'll be like, well, we is not, so that's not possible. And you're like, well, okay, so I cheated, but okay, that's what I need to hear, right? I cheated. No, I cheated, right? No, you see, no, I didn't cheat, though. Yeah, you see, I cheated on her, but that's just, you know, that's just a struggle that we need to work on together. You know, something we need to get. No, it's something we need to get past. No, it is. That's not something you get past. That's something you don't do to begin with. But whatever. It's November, December, and I'm going to tell you, you know what? That's just a little bump. That's just a little bump in the road. Nothing like sometimes a miscellaneous cock finds its way into an unsuspecting vagina. You know, that's what happens. I mean, we've all been at a bar, and the next thing you know, right? You're at a bar, and the next thing you know, you find your dick in someone else, and you're like, whoa. You know, we've all been there. That's why these 2 months out of the year, I'm going to say, you know what? It was probably an accident. They probably fucked up. But it was an accident. You know, they were at the bar. They had 3 shots. The next thing he knew, he was just the whole sorority team. The whole sorority was fucking him. And he was, whoa, you know? He was like, whoa, stop. Not yet. Wait, no, I didn't finish. And then stop. Nah, dude. That's the truth, though. That's the truth. It is cuffing season. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, bottom line, this time of year, I'm going to look at you, And I'm going to tell you that everything's going to work out because I'm not going to be a hater during these 2 months because the Christmas music just makes me feel oh so happy inside. It makes me feel like a little child boy on Christmas Day, right? I realize as I've gotten older, the gifts don't really matter to me anymore. I mean, in a sense, once again, if anyone in my family is listening, I, don't hold back this year. I'm not saying that, but but what I am saying is the gifts do matter a little less. And I think as you get older, you begin to realize this or whatever. Obviously, if you get a nice gift from a loved one or a girlfriend, boyfriend, a partner, just someone, someone you're close to, good friend, something like that, that's always nice. But like when you're a kid, it's different. All you're thinking about is the gifts. But now, I mean, it's really just the music that I get to hear during this time of year. It just makes you think that everything's going good. You know what I'm saying? It makes you really believe in everything. It makes you really change your outlook on life. It makes you really think differently about the things around you. And it makes you really happy. It makes you happy to be alive, Well, not for some of you because you have aggressive seasonal depression, so you're probably just trying to stay alive. But I mean, for you, maybe not so, maybe not so much. You probably don't love this time of year. But it's what I challenge you to do is just, every once in a while, just try and let the holiday spirit flow through your body. Just accept it. Let it just accept the body, accept it, really accept it, and just try and let it make you feel better. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to be honest, Kaz is out of options, but at least you have this to look forward to every week, right? But maybe every 3 months we miss an episode, right? Because that happens, Kaz, sometimes things happen, right? Kaz gets sick, things of that nature. I'm going to be honest with you. For those of you that are like, you didn't even bother, might be a little bit angry. You're like, you didn't even try and get an episode out. No. I recorded 2 episodes. Maybe I'll drop a couple clips from there. It looked like I took 8 Xanax and drank 3 shots of whiskey, and I was slurring my words because I couldn't even speak from the phlegm that was in the back of my throat. I was sitting here and I was like, yeah, isn't that so? And I was like trying to I was trying to piece together a fucking joke. Like I was trying to find the pieces of a joke, and it wasn't even. I watched it back after the fact, and I thought I was making sense, but after I was watching back the footage, it was low key, kind of like completely incomprehensible. And there were moments where I started I thought I was because you know how I tend to talk fast sometimes. Well, when I'm not sick, it's coherent. You could understand what I'm saying. But when I was sick and I didn't know how to talk anymore, I started talking fast. And I'm not even going to lie to you. There was a good 30 seconds where I'm not even 100% sure what I said. I was just like, and then with Kanye, and then it's so crazy because Chappelle was on SNL, and then he said, and then I watched it back and I was like, what? I was like, who is that? Who is saying that? That's not me, man. That is not me. I did not say that. I was just saying shit, man, and it wasn't making any sense. So I did make an effort, a good effort to throw together an episode for you, but unfortunately, it turned out to be that it wasn't going to be possible for Anthony to put out an episode. So yeah. Anyways, daylight savings time just happened. Big thing. The daylight, it has been saved. I say this every year. What are we saving it for? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why they still do this shit. I know they keep talking about it or whatever. They're like, we're going to change it. But the problem with that is that everyone has to come together and agree to change it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to come together and agree, right? And considering most politicians can't even agree that homelessness is bad, I don't think that's ever going to happen. So I don't know who's in charge of that. I don't know if that's Congress. I don't know who makes the call when it comes to making daylight savings, just making it permanent, like never change, not flipping in spring and fall, just keeping it at the one time. I don't know who runs this shit and who kind of, and who's in charge of all of this, but let's just say, I don't think that's ever gonna happen, you know. All right, let's actually look at current events. I'm not gonna lie, the energy levels really randomly just took a massive spike down out of nowhere. It's because I'm really just throwing all my energy into this right now because I'm like I said, still a little sick. The energy levels are low. God damn. Let's try and just get through the end of this. Elon finally bought Twitter. And he created something, Twitter Blue. I'm sure you saw this the other day, but it's for $7.99 a month. You get a blue check mark, which means that before, verified accounts used to mean that you were a person who is popular, who you just don't want people impersonating you. Kind of just, the verified mark, it kind of just lets people know this is your account, this isn't a fraud, XYZ. But Elon Musk was like, wait a minute, I need a little more money. I'm going a little dry right now. What if I started charging people $8 a month so that they could feel important? And that's what he did. And of course, it blew up in his face because he failed to recognize that Gen Z and some of the millennials as well would band together and find it hilarious to impersonate major corporations and say insane things. Fuck, the energy levels are really dropping. I'm sorry. Shit. Be funny. Don't think about the energy. Make joke, laugh. Make joke, laugh. Did I say it's candle season? I feel like I brought that up in a previous episode. I'll take any time out of my day to be able to talk about candles, man. Candles. I'll take the time out of my day to talk about really candles, my mental status, ADHD, autism. Speaking of all that, it's so funny. I love how on TikTok, you could go on TikTok. You know what's the most fun part about TikTok actually is that you could get on that app and for the first time, and within an hour, that app can convince you that you're autistic, bipolar, and a violently schizophrenic. Within an hour, just because you like tomatoes. They're like, do you dislike tomatoes? And you're like, yeah. And then you're like, do you also not like paprika? And you're like, holy fuck, so me. And they're like, you're probably bipolar. And I'm like, what? Like, what kind of science is that? I'll trust the astrology girls before I trust some person on TikTok telling me that I'm like colorblind or something. It's crazy. Like I literally, to put it in perspective here, and you're like, Anthony, well, maybe you do have bipolar because you don't like tomatoes. Like, for example, I have like legit diagnosed, like fully diagnosed ADHD. Like I've been to doctors, right? I've circled the bubbles, I've answered the questions, and they've all came to the consensus that I am fucked. That was their consensus. They go, you're fucked. I go, what do I do? And they go, we could give you some crack, but it's not going to help much. And so they go, we could give you a little cocaine. That's really all we could do for you. We can't really do much else, unfortunately. And so I legit have a diagnosis. And so what's even funnier is when I see these random videos of people being like, Part 37 of things only ADHD people would know. And then they say the most normal thing people like. They say the most like normal quirk on the planet. Like they'll be like, you definitely have ADHD if you need some alone time every once in a while. I'm like, what? That is not what? They like say like the most bait. They're like, do you forget things sometimes? And you're like, I do forget things sometimes. And they're like, you probably need Adderall. That's literally half what these fucking TikToks are. They're like, do you forget? And then you're like, I think I do forget. And then they're like, you have ADHD. And you're like, fucking, I knew it, man. You know what was really funny? Before I got tested for ADHD, I was in denial. I'm not even lying to you. I've never wanted to take the ADHD medication. Like I only take it because like I legit need it. Like it genuinely increases my productivity and, and increases my, getting work done, and it helps me like relax and not like freak out over a fucking email. And it helps. But the thing is that when I was getting tested for ADHD, like I know there'll be like, there'll be like a lot of doctors will be like, well, are you just coming in because you wanted Adderall? And I'm like, no, buddy. I'm like, this is 2 years of my parents screaming at me, and obviously a loving scream. It wasn't a mean, maybe screaming isn't the correct word, but, just an aggressive concernment, let's say, of them just being, something's clearly wrong. You should go get tested. Maybe you have ADHD, maybe you have this, that. We need to find out, see what's wrong, and get you help. And I was in denial. I was like, I am fine. It's so normal to stay up till 3 a.m. doing basic algebra. It's literally, this is a regular occurrence, right? Right. And it was like, and what was funny too is like, even like staying up till 3 a.m. doing algebra, that wasn't a joke. But the weird part is like, you'd be like, oh, well, maybe you just didn't understand the material. No, I had an A in the class. It was just like, but somehow it would just take me forever to get homework done. Like it didn't correlate to my grade, which was weird. And so anyways, I was in complete denial until I went to the doctor. And so because of that, because I was in complete denial, I would go online probably every other day. Every other day I'd go online and I'd find a new ADHD test. And every single one that I would take would say, you have a very strong, like it was never like every single online ADHD test that I took before I got actually diagnosed, I would take them all the time because I was in denial. And I was like, there's no way. And I was basically just looking for one to tell me that I didn't have ADHD. And I was going to be like, I knew it, right? And then I was just going to move on. But I would take a new one like every week, let's say. New to ADHD test every single week. Every single fucking one was like, you have a very strong likelihood. Like it was never like, you might have it. Check with the doctor. It wasn't like you have some, but maybe not others. Maybe your doctor has to look and see if it affected you in childhood. No. Every single one that I took was like, you have ADHD, go to a doctor. Like, they were like, the fact that you haven't been to a doctor yet is like, dude, you almost got 100%. And then every single time I would see that, I would go, this is unreliable, they're wrong. And I would shut my computer. I did this for like 2 years. I would open my computer. This was like literally every week. I'm not even kidding. I'd open it and I'd go, let's see. I'd answer the questions and they would go to a doctor. And I'd go, you're nuts. That's no. I'd go, you're wrong. You don't know. You're wrong. And then I finally went to a doctor. Even when I was getting the ADHD test, I was even trying to trick the doctor during the test, which coincidentally, I don't know if I ever said this on here, but when I was getting tested for ADHD, she was like, I forget the exact task, but like there was a certain way that I felt that she wanted me to do it. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do it that way because because in my head at the time, dude, I was sitting there and I was thinking to myself and I was like, she obviously wants me to do it this way, which means that I'm just feeding into her own personal bias that she already thinks that I have ADHD. I'm not going to feed into that. I'm going to do it a different way. And then I got out, right? And I looked at my mom and she was like, how did it go, right? Because she picked me up. She's like, how did it go? And I was like, I tricked the shit out of this doctor and I told my mom what I did. And then my mom was like, well, don't you think that maybe you doing that was something that she also could have expected and made it more likely that you had ADHD? And in that moment, I was shell-shocked because I didn't think it was possible for me to I bamboozled myself. And I remember after the fact, I asked the doctor about that. I was like, was that normal? And she goes, actually, you were one of the first, like, she goes, it's rare that anybody ever does it that way. But normally, and she goes, in the few times that people have done it that way, I've known immediately that it was ADHD because nobody would have done it that way. Because nobody would have thought ahead that far just to spite me. And I go, oh, okay. So do I pick up the Adderall at the Walgreens or? Yeah, dude, I did not. I'm going to shit my pants. Wow. Holy hell. That came out of nowhere. Wow. Wow. Okay. Thank you for listening to today's. I don't know what we're ending on, but I got to end it. I'm going to fucking explode. Thank you for listening. Go buy a Rudolph's Rager. I'm going to put it on the screen right now. Here's a picture of it if you want a nice angle of it. If you're listening and you can't see, oh my God. All right. Rate, review, Spotify, YouTube comment. Whoa, share. Give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Woo! See you next week. Fuck my ass.